Welcome to The Checkout. We catch up with previous Add to Cart guests and ask them 5 quick questions to get to know them better and leave you with a little extra inspiration to get through your Friday. Here's your host, Bushy.
Today's Checkout features Aaron Cowper, founder and CEO of ShopGrok, a pricing and range analytics platform for retail and consumer brands. Aaron was formerly head of price strategy and analytics at Woolworths, and while he was there, he had the idea to develop an alternative to sending out humans to gather data on competitors' pricing, and then he set up ShopGrok in 2018. ShopGrok is now working with clients such as KFC, Supercheap Auto, and Oroton. Aaron, thank you for joining us on The Checkout. We had a great conversation earlier around all things pricing strategy and how you're helping retailers at ShopGrok with understanding competitive pricing, providing those insights, and even doing some automated pricing. So that was really interesting, but I'm here to learn more about you. So I've got 5 quick questions for you. Kicking off with number 1, what's the weirdest thing that you've ever bought online?
Probably the weirdest thing was my car. I bought a Tesla online without having driven one or seeing one in person. I've never been a car person really at all. I had quite a bad accident on a scooter a couple of years ago, and my wife said that I would never get on a scooter again. So I had to buy a car, and I'm a bit of a tech nerd, so I was really interested in the car, in the Tesla itself, not necessarily the car. But yeah, so I bought the car, and it took about a year to get there, and driven it ever since and enjoying it.
Very similar experiences there. I mean, this is a bit of a wank fest, really. I love the experience.
I had to caveat that with I'm not a sports car person. I don't advocate by splurging on material things, but in this case, I was just interested in the technology and I love the car. Not so much Elon. I've kind of Elon's obviously.
I love that caveat. I like the car, not Elon. I went from a Hyundai i30 to a Tesla, and I just love that process of that sales process where you're not haggling over anything. And from a pricing strategy, this is fascinating too, where it's an industry where you don't know pricing. You haggle on pricing all the time, and you don't know if you're getting a good deal, bad deal, because you buy a car once every, 5 years or something. So you're not staying up to date with the market.
Yeah.
And then you go into the Tesla room and they go, so do you like it? I'm like, yeah, I kind of like it. And they're like, well, look, where's your credit card? We'll put down $1,000 deposit or whatever it was at the time. And you're like, oh, that's done. Like there's no talk of price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. Crazy how well they've done with very little marketing.
Yeah. All right. Who is your favorite retailer?
At the moment, I think my favorite retailer is probably Country Road, which is so they're obviously a manufacturer as well, but their own retail stores. I'm kitted out. Well, I must admit my wife and my mother-in-law and my mother probably buy most of my clothes, but I'm kitted out by Country Road. They have a really good range of products, both men and women, really good price point, affordable, but slightly higher than entry level, and, really good promotional strategy and great stores. So I think they're a great retailer.
As the pricing guy, do you still get sucked in by their spend and saves?
Definitely, yeah. I'm definitely sucked in by their promotional emails. Like I don't subscribe to a lot of retailer EDMs, but it's one of the few that my wife and I look at.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, which e-commerce practice do you wish was history?
I think that they're like 50% off, or the mid-season sale, I think it's really detrimental to most retailers. Like it brings all the sales into this period of really low margin and really impacts your forecasting and your ability to kind of actually figure out how to sell throughout the whole year. So the more that retailers can get away from the heavy discounting periods and try to have a more balanced promotional strategy, the better.
Speaking of peak sales, we've just come out of peak sales. Do you think over the coming years it's going to get better or worse? Are we going to pull away from those peak sale periods, or is it we're just going to double down?
Yeah, I think it's seeming like it's getting bigger and bigger. Black Friday is probably the one case where it's not necessarily such a bad thing because it is pulling sales back from Christmas. So it is spreading out the sales a little bit between November and December. So in that case, it is probably actually spreading things out that would have happened all at Christmas, and maybe that is a net gain for a lot of retailers. But it's funny, you won't really know what the wash-up is because Black Friday gets bigger and bigger every year, so you don't really know how much sales you pull back from Christmas before Christmas actually happens. So it's an interesting period.
Absolutely. All right, number 4, can you recommend a book or a podcast that our listeners should immediately get into? You mentioned a couple at the start of our main chat as well, I remember.
Yeah, so Chaos Monkeys, I mentioned at the start, which is where there's a company called ShopGrok, which ShopGrok's a bit of a tip of the hat to that company. So that's a good book. It's a bit of a insider's tale of Silicon Valley if you're interested in startups and that kind of thing. I'm just reading an interesting book called The Psychology of Money by, I think it's Morgan Housel is his name. It's a good read at the moment. A short read, but good lessons on how to manage money and how to avoid either working too hard to try to earn a lot of money and not be happy in life, and also how to be smart about saving for the future, etc.
And that's on my to-read list. But it's more of a personal money approach than a business one, yeah?
Definitely, yeah. So it's more of a personal finance book.
Great.
Sure.
Fantastic. All right, last one I have for you, Aaron. Finish this sentence. The future of retail is?
I have to go with data-driven because it's definitely my area, and I think it's true. The way things are going with AI and data analytics, it's only going to get harder and harder to compete in retail unless you're very data-driven. You know your customers well, you can personalize things, and you have some sort of point of difference in your product range and your pricing, and that can only really be achieved through having good data.
Perfect. Aaron, thanks for joining us on The Checkout.
Thanks, Nathan. Cheers.
To hear more from Aaron, jump back into episode 374, where Aaron shares his thoughts on dynamic pricing and gives his pricing tips for anyone looking to overhaul their pricing strategy in e-commerce. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep adding to cart.